Hello everyone, I'm Paul McGuire. Grimes director George Miller wowed audiences when he reignited his Mad Max franchise with the wild ride that was Mad Max Fury Road. He's now going back, looking at the younger years of our heroine, Furiosa. In Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, it's now in theaters, and I want to talk about it. This is Paul's trip to the movies. Anya Taylor-Joy takes over in the role of Furiosa from Charlize Theron as the story starts off with the character as a young girl kidnapped and taken away from her family. She's being delivered as a gift to a madman called Dr. Dementis, who's played by Chris Hemsworth. Now, despite being resourceful and smart, she ends up stuck with Dr. Dementis despite her continual attempts to escape and find her way home again. The two of them, along with Dementis' biker gang, find themselves at the Citadel, which is run by Immortan Joe. Now, as the years pass by at the Citadel, Furiosa shaves her head and poses as a boy, all in the name of survival. Now, I was a little skeptical going into Furiosa when it was announced, as I thought we just didn't need a prequel. It would be really hard to top Fury Road, and that just recasting the role to someone younger could just upend what Charlize Theron brought to the role. But I should have known to have full faith in George Miller, who has split Furiosa into just 5 riveting parts. Miller kicks his film off with this visceral urgency with Furiosa's kidnapping as a child. Elila Brown is a dead ringer for a young Anya Taylor-Joy. Shooting in a real location like Australia just adds that extra cinematic quality that makes you really feel like you're in that barren wasteland that the film takes place in. It's not some just big green screen on a soundstage posing as the desert. The heat really crackles on screen, whether it's the day scenes that are shot in color by cinematographer Simon Dugan, or the night scenes when he kind of switches to this chrome-style filter. If Fury Road acted as kind of one long chase scene set over a few days, Furiosa is actually much more expansive in the scope of its actually spanning 15 years in her life and covers more of the kind of physical landscape of the wastelands, from the Place of Abundance to the Citadel to the Bullet Farm and other fortresses within that. There's very minimal dialogue at times, but George Miller is such a visual storyteller that it's not always needed. There's just no other post-apocalyptic film series like Mad Max, especially when you look at Furiosa and Fury Road as kind of 2 companion films. Miller makes Furiosa stand on its own, but it's really strengthened, I think, for anyone coming in already knowing where this is going to go. Costume designer Jenny Bevan won an Oscar for the first film. Now she returns to create such rich tapestry of fabrics and metals as Furiosa and Dr. Dementis come across all these different communities and people. George Miller brings back the wild chase scenes that we saw with Fury Road, with the rigs and the meticulous choreography needed to just pull them all off. The stunt work is out of this world. Now, the character of Furiosa is described as the 5th rider of the apocalypse, and Anya Taylor-Joy is just badass to the core, who really holds her own every step of the way. You really believe that this character will evolve into what happens to her under Charlize Theron's performance. We see things happen in this film that, explains how we found her in Fury Road. Chris Hemsworth gives one of the best performances of his career outside of Thor as Dr. Dementis. He's completely unrecognizable as he dons this prosthetic nose and a really long beard, and Hemsworth makes him this kind of wild maniac like Heath Ledger did with the Joker. Hemsworth lets himself go to these kind of savage and vicious places in Dr. Dementis' attempt to really take over the wasteland. Furiosa is a badass female revenge story with a character who really can only trust herself in the game of survival. It feels cohesive to Fury Road without ever feeling like director George Miller is just rehashing what he's done before. It's really stunning work. I'm giving Furiosa a Mad Max saga 4.5 out of 5 ticket stubs. If you like my review today, click subscribe on my YouTube channel. I have some movie reviews, some celebrity interviews, and I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a comment here on YouTube or on social media at Paul's Movie Trip. Are you looking forward to Furiosa? Are you a fan of this franchise? Let me know in the comments. And go to my website, paulstriptothemovies.com, for more reviews, some celebrity interviews, and more. And go see Furiosa when it opens in theaters. Thank you so much for watching my review of Furiosa. This is Paul's Trip to the Movies.